Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with here today with an article from Conservative Brief dated September 13th. Says Supreme Court may weigh in on over-sentenced January 6 defendants. And I've kind of been waiting to see something like this when somebody somewhere would step in and say, this is getting a bit ridiculous. Like people that weren't even there being sentenced to decades in prison, such as Enrique Tarrio, the leader of the Proud Boys. So let's go ahead and see what this says. And these Google ads are going to keep popping up. I swear to God, it's going to get really annoying. So keep closing them out. And let's see what the article says. It says the U.S. Supreme Court could consider cases involving several January 6 riot defendants who were convicted in saddles with what they consider to be excessively long sentences. It's because they were. It says Edward Lang and Garrett Miller, who are both accused of entering the Capitol on January 6th, have petitioned the Supreme Court to dismiss an obstruction charge against them ahead of their trials, the Daily Caller reported on Wednesday. Says they argue that prosecutors have stretched an unrelated statute to unfairly overpenalize individuals involved in the riots. If the Supreme Court decides to hear their case, it could potentially have far-reaching consequences for numerous other January 6 defendants who face charges under the same statute, the outlet noted further. Says the statute under scrutiny is Section 1512C2, which imposes a maximum prison sentence of 20 years for individuals who obstructs, influences, or impedes any official proceeding. While originally enacted to combat evidence tampering, government prosecutors have argued that both Lang and Miller, along with numerous other January 6 defendants, obstructed an official proceeding by attempting to disrupt Congress's certification of the election results, the Daily Caller noted further. Yeah, the certification that happened like 3 hours later, yeah, it was really, really delayed 3 hours later the same day. Okay. Says an amicus brief filed August 30th by three other defendants who have cases pending before the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia also requested that the Supreme Court hear their case to prevent a cascade of errors and misconceptions in the application of the law and undeserved harm to the defendants and the public perception of the courts. The brief said that more than 200 people have been charged under the statute. There's a short walk from the building in which this court sits. A revolution is underway, with ambitious federal prosecutors reworking the penal code to make it do work never intended to be done, work that threatens to chill and does chill ordinary Americans in their First Amendment rights to assemble, to petition for the redress of grievances, and to speak out on matters of public concern. Lang's petition noted, calling the application of Section 1512C2 over criminalization of otherwise criminal conduct. Because in February, Miller received a 38-month prison sentence for various offenses, including assaulting a police officer. Okay, well, that's not good. And unlawfully entering a restricted building per the Department of Justice. Nevertheless, according to his petition, the government remains committed to pursuing a trial against him on the obstruction charge. I mean, if he truly assaulted a police officer, and forgive me if I don't really trust anything any of them are saying there, especially the Department of Justice. Says Lang awaiting his trial is incarcerated as a pretrial detainee, according to his petition. His petition was filed July 7th and Miller's on July 28th, the Daily Caller added. Says meanwhile, former President Donald Trump filed a motion late Monday that seeks to have U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan recuse herself from his January 6th case, as citing several instances where they believe she showed abject bias against him, even suggesting Trump should be jailed over the riot that took place that day. Yeah, that is bias against him, and she's completely biased, and she should not be the judge on that trial. I doubt anything's going to happen with it, but it's DC. What are you going to do besides file a thing? And we're going to move this away from the toe ads here, the toe fungus ads. Get rid of that Google ad, and we're back. Says in the filing, Trump's legal team referenced public statements made by the judge, who was appointed by Obama, in cases involving defendants from January 6th. Chutkan has gained a reputation for imposing some of the harshest prison sentences on nonviolent protesters found guilty of obstructing an official proceeding, an offense typically resulting in fines. Says Judge Chutkan has, in connection with other cases, suggested that President Trump should be prosecuted and imprisoned. Such statements made before this case began and without due process are inherently disqualifying, reads the filing. I would happen to agree with that. Says another ad here says, although Judge Chutkan may genuinely intend to give President Trump a fair trial and may believe that she can do so, which I am going to go ahead and press X to doubt. I did press X there. Says her public statements unavoidably taint these proceedings, regardless of the outcome. The filing continued. Says the public will reasonably and understandably question whether Judge Chutkan arrived at all of her decisions on this matter impartially or in fulfillment of her prior negative statements regarding President Trump, it added, and that is the end of the article. So it ended with the Trump stuff, which kind of, in my opinion, didn't really need to be there because this is about the other January 6th stuff. I have a separate article about all the Trump stuff. Go for that. I'm not cutting that out. But yeah, I mean, I'd very much like to see the Supreme Court, if they can, if this is, within their purview, take this up and just kind of be like, yeah, guys, you're sentencing people to way too long of sentences. Like I said at the very beginning, Enrique Tarrio, the leader of the Proud Boys, wasn't even in DC and didn't say anything about like going and attacking the Capitol. They sentenced him to 22 years in prison. That seems a bit much to me. Okay, so what do you guys think about this? Do you think there's a chance the Supreme Court takes up the case? What do you think about it if they reduce the sentences? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.